Happy Easter, everybody. This is dkdynamite for a special video today. We're going to be talking about bonus survival maps, how Treyarch has changed zombies forever, and even the return of a mode you probably forgot about by now. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, and let me know real quickly in the comments, have you finished the Season 2 Battle Pass or hit Prestige Master for the current season? If you haven't, you have about, 18 or so days before the end of the season. That's if Season 3 doesn't get delayed for Black Ops Cold War or Warzone. I'm assuming it probably won't, since they're on pace right now with a solid DLC schedule. But earlier today, there was quite a bit of confusion going around the community with the following tweet from the official Call of Duty Twitter account. So they're encouraging people to go and find physical Easter eggs over in the Outbreak Zombies mode. People jumped the gun and thought they were talking about the actual Outbreak Easter egg, which is scheduled for Season 3. That would have been fantastic if they dropped it early on Easter, but unfortunately, they're actually talking about physical Easter eggs that are spawned around the giant fire team maps. I'm not sure what they do. I haven't been able to play Outbreak today, but let me know in the comments if you guys have. I know a few days ago over in Verdansk, physical Easter eggs were also dropped all around the Warzone experience, and when you pick them up, they would give you some random loot. So I believe, if I read correctly, they were intended to go live starting today, but went live a couple of days early in Warzone. I think it was on Thursday or Friday, so I'm not surprised. Things are usually broken in Warzone after every single update, so pretty ironic there. But also on top of that, we do have the Hippity Hoppity Easter themed bundle live in Black Ops Cold War and Warzone starting today, and the bundle is alright. I would say the St. Patrick's bundle was probably a bit more worth it considering the Tracer, the dismemberment effects, but this Easter bundle is kind of basic, and the St. Patrick's bundle was great and all, but you were able to find those skins for free off ground loots in Rebirth, so I ended up buying that one. But you guys know how I feel about holiday themed bundles. After the holiday itself, it doesn't really feel right to use a holiday themed skin. That's just the way I am, but the exception is definitely the Christmas sweater woods, which I use quite often over in Black Ops Cold War multiplayer. But if you're feeling that Easter spirit, maybe pick this one up as of today. It's alright looking, don't get me wrong, but as I talked about in yesterday's video, there are 16 plus bundles coming to Black Ops Cold War Season 2 Reloaded, and they'll all drop within the next, 2 weeks before the end of the season, so expect quite a bit of content dropping like every Sunday, every Thursday. And I would say one of the coolest bundles that is coming to the game is known as the Corpse Collector. I'm going to be careful showing images on screen to avoid any unnecessary copyright strikes, but as Prestigious Key also pointed out, the return of pets will happen over in Black Ops Cold War, since that was a feature introduced in Modern Warfare last year, but it seems like one of the pets coming to this game is a Plague Hound from the Machina. So if you guys remember correctly, there was a zombies themed DLC bundle added to Modern Warfare this past summer, and the pet didn't really fit the theme of Modern Warfare at all. It felt kind of out of place, but as if it was a good teaser for what was to come with Black Ops Cold War, which I believe hadn't been revealed at that time. So in that pack, you were able to have Fluffy the Hellhound as one of your pets, and he would do a finishing move for you. So the same thing's going to happen with the Plague Hound in the following pack known as the Corpse Collector. So I'm assuming you'll be seeing the other Hellhounds that are also in zombies for Black Ops Cold War added as pets in the future. So a pretty cool feature nonetheless. And if you guys are interested in this, let me know down below in the comments as well. There's no saying when this is going to release, but I will guess the 18-day time frame before Season 2 is over. That's just what I'm thinking. But now when it comes to how Treyarch has changed zombies forever, bear with me and listen very carefully to this. We're going to take a trip into the Aether and talk about what the community has probably forgotten but has been requesting for the better half of a decade. So World at War, we had our simple survival maps, no Easter eggs. Black Ops 1, same thing, but we got Easter eggs introduced with DLC 1 Ascension, been getting Easter eggs ever since. Black Ops 2, awesome variety of maps, better Easter eggs, but they were able to break Transit, Mob, and Buried into subsections and put Grief and Survival on some of those subsections. Black Ops 3 took it a step even further with bigger maps, bigger Easter eggs, more budget, more cutscenes. And Black Ops 3 aged well, don't get me wrong, but it didn't always start that way. I would say the game definitely wasn't sunshine and rainbows when it first released in November of 2015. It had a rough start. Shadows of Evil was very overwhelming for a majority of the community, but Treyarch released the Giant to balance that out. The Giant was a simple survival map with a couple of side quests, but aside from that was just there for gameplay. And it fixed the problem, I would say. It still drew in a classic zombies audience, getting people interested in what Black Ops 3 had to offer for future maps, and Shadows has aged very well. I would say it's a top 3 for most of the community. I definitely agree with that. Black Ops 4, we know how that went, right? It had a lot of perks, 2 stories going at once. It was really oriented around the storyline, the cutscenes, the narrative itself, and it didn't resonate all that well with the community. The gameplay was innovative, had some real cool new features that I loved, but lot of the community didn't agree with that. Black Ops Cold War has directly answered the feedback from Black Ops 4. If you guys have forgotten this, Treyarch releases a game and always, and I mean always, answers the feedback of the previous one. So here's an example if you don't believe me. In Black Ops 3, people were upset that there was only one new perk added, Widow's Wine. What did Black Ops 4 do? Add a variety of different perks. Black Ops 3 Zombies Chronicles, everybody loved the remasters, loved the remakes. They wanted more of that. What did Black Ops 4 do? Add them right away at launch. We have Blood of the Dead, Classified, and then Alpha and Tag later. Sure, a map pack probably would have been better for some of those remakes, but the maps fit aesthetically for the narrative that Blundell and Craig had at the time for Black Ops 4. And then in Black Ops 4, what happened, right? People were saying there's too many perks. So Black Ops Cold War has very few, just a solid amount, not too many. People also complained in Black Ops 4 the Easter eggs were too hard. They were too story-oriented. They wanted better gameplay. What is Black Ops Cold War? A very casual zombies experience with easy-ass Easter eggs, and I would say the story isn't all in your face in Black Ops Cold War either. There's some rich story going on behind the scenes with the intel, radio, ciphers, even in some of the few cutscenes, but besides that, it's not really story-oriented the way Black Ops 3 or 4 actually were. So with that, if you guys are understanding that now, you guys will also remember that the Giant, right, was resonating pretty well with the community. I would say everybody loved the Giant. It was a great survival map. People wanted more simple maps like that too, and World War II also kind of answered that with Grossenhaus. After Grossenhaus, people were like, wait a second, we can have a solid collection of zombies maps with Easter eggs and full quests, big budgets, and cutscenes. Why not also have a small collection of maps that we can just hop on and play with no power, no pack-a-punch, just hop on for pure gameplay? The Giant and Grossenhaus were proof that that could actually exist. I know the Giant had power and pack, but you get what I mean. So with that, what has Black Ops Cold War done? They've incorporated that small collection of just basic survival maps through Zombies Onslaught. And I know it's a PlayStation exclusive mode, so you guys are probably going to say, you know what, who cares about this video? It doesn't mean crap because I can't play it on my Xbox or PC. I get the frustration, but allow me to explain. So even in Black Ops 4 multiplayer, there was a map called Der Schatten. It was the town below Der Eisendrache as a multiplayer experience. To me, that was one of the coolest things Treyarch has ever done, because I never thought of that idea before. Why not take a zombies map, take a portion of that zombies map, or even the area surrounding it, turn that into a multiplayer map? You can have some real cool Easter eggs on the map, just a real cool vibe, a nice atmosphere. That's what Der Schatten was. At the time, I even made a video saying, why not throw a mystery box or a pack-a-punch machine on Der Schatten, and boom, you have a zombie survival map, just here for pure gameplay. That would work great, and Treyarch probably would have done that if they had more time to work on Black Ops 4. But what has Black Ops Cold War done now in response to what I would say a majority of the community wanted during Black Ops 4 and previous games? The ability to have a massive collection of basic survival maps and zombies, and on top of that, be able to play zombies on multiplayer maps too. I mean, that is incredible, and I know what you're gonna say, right? Onslaught is PlayStation exclusive. Why should I care? You're on Xbox or PC. I get that, and the release date of Onslaught on Xbox and PC is November 1st, 2021. Don't blame Treyarch for that. That is a decision between Activision and Sony. Lots of money was involved, obviously, but would you rather have Onslaught be exclusive, or would you rather have an actual zombies map be exclusive, even Dead Ops Arcade 3? I think we went with the better reality here, where it's only Onslaught. And in a perfect world, there would be nothing exclusive. I get that too. That's just what we have to deal with when it comes to the business for the gaming industry. So with Onslaught, I would say when it first released, it's a mode that I'm like, alright, I'd play this on every multiplayer map in the game at least once, but the replayability was difficult, and the reason why is because there were no abilities to pack-a-punch, no ability to upgrade your weapon rarity, and the loot drops were very average at best, I would say. And with that, a lot of the Onslaught matches became pretty difficult. I mean, if you got bad RNG from weapon drops after killing elites, you just weren't making it that far, and it was like, why play this to begin with if there really aren't many rewards in playing it? There were some blueprints here and there that you can get. I reviewed the mode. I have one of the few in-depth videos about Onslaught here on YouTube. I have a link down below in the description. In that video, I also went over how to unlock all the achievements that you can get on PlayStation by playing the Onslaught mode. But now with Season 2 Reloaded, they've incorporated the Containment LTM. They call it an LTM for some reason, but now you're able to play Onslaught on the gunfight maps. A lot of the smaller maps that are in the game, which I didn't expect to be able to play zombies on at any point. I would have never thought they would have put Onslaught on the gunfight experiences, because again, the maps are that small. But when you think about it, one gunfight map is almost a bit bigger than one small section whenever the orb moves in a regular game of Onslaught. So the mode works, but the difference with regular Onslaught and Containment is that in Containment, the orb never moves. It stays in the same place, and you have the whole gunfight map to explore, kill your zombies, go wave for wave, whatever you'd want to do. Now also in Containment, we got the new features incorporated which do affect every Onslaught map, including the main multiplayer experiences, which is that now you can pack-a-punch your weapons by picking up chalice drops. These chalice drops could be bronze, silver, and gold, allowing you to upgrade from pack-a-punch tier 1, 2, and 3 respectively. That's awesome, and they drop very frequently. We also have Aether tools. When you pick those up, it upgrades the rarity of the weapon that you're holding, whether you spawned in with it or picked up the weapon off the ground. Great. We also have the ability to get tier 2 and 3 armor now, since tier 1 armor was even hard to get when the mode first released, and now you can upgrade even more than that. And of course, they fixed the perk limit that was also broken with a couple of updates that dropped in Season 1. Now you can get all the perks in the game, so it's incredible. And don't forget, if you guys want to get an AAT on one of your weapons too, you can also pick those up randomly whenever they drop in some gameplay. So that's awesome, and it affects the entirety of the Onslaught mode. Now the mode is replayable, where you can upgrade your weapons and feel enhanced for waves and waves and waves. But remember this, right? People were wanting basic survival maps to be added to zombies, and the Giant was there, Groston House was there, we got the World at War remasters from Chronicles. I get that, but now we have this in the form of Onslaught. Even though there's no mystery box, if you really need it, you can spawn in with a weapon of your choice or pick up a great weapon off the ground with high rarity. You have that, and do you really need the round counter as we have in traditional zombies? We have the surge counter, which is the same thing, tells you what surge you're on. Same thing as a wave. So you kill elites, you go through surges. That is literally what the community wanted for so many years. Why do you think the mode exists? Treyarch listened to our feedback. So that's where we are with Onslaught right now. And unlike Modern Warfare Survival, Onslaught is actually getting some quality of life improvements this year, which answers the community's concerns about the mode. So if you're on PlayStation, give this a shot. If you're bored of Die Maschine, bored of Firebase and Outbreak, give Onslaught a shot. It's just there for gameplay. You break up your weapons, you can go for camos, you can burn through your battle pass. A lot you can do it in this Onslaught mode, which is incredible. Now, if you guys remember during the Modern Warfare season last year, we didn't really get many updates to the Survival Spec Ops mode. Instead, they just periodically dropped survival support on some of the new multiplayer maps, but we never got survival support for all of the maps in that game. They didn't really care about the mode. The player base obviously wasn't great. Spec Ops in general wasn't worth it in that game, but clearly with Onslaught, even if the player base isn't that high, Treyarch cares about the mode and is turning it into the mode that they probably wanted to release on all platforms during the release window of Black Ops Cold War. And Survival had plenty of other issues during Modern Warfare season, aside from the lack of maps, right? I mean, the spawns, the difficulty of the enemies, your health, it just wasn't fun at all. The background gameplay is of course on the gunfight map Game Show, but you can also play Containment on the other gunfight maps, U-Bahn, ICBM, even KGB. You can't play it on the new map Mansion just yet, which is why I'm confused where they called Onslaught Containment and LTM. I'm like, wait a second, Mansion doesn't have support for this mode yet. When are they going to get rid of Containment? Because I don't see a reason to. I mean, you have Onslaught available on every other multiplayer map. Why get rid of it for the gunfight maps at the end of the season? It doesn't really make sense to me. And looking at a game mode like Crane, for example, within Die Maschine, and it probably would have been for Firebase, they got rid of the mode, and I'm like, at least keep it in private matches to where we can play it solo or with friends. I understand if you get rid of it on the public match playlist, but at least keep it in the game somehow. Why work on a mode and then just scrap it entirely for the remainder of the season? Because usually with LTM, especially in Warzone, they bring out a new LTM, people like it, they bring it back maybe once or twice more months later, and then boom, we never see it again. So I'm like, it's really confusing to see how modes get worked on for X amount of days or weeks or months and then only in the game for a very short amount of time. Now, Activision already revealed what the free blueprint looks like in the Onslaught Containment trailer that PlayStation uploaded. So you can get this blueprint by getting 300 eliminations in the mode itself, but it expires in 16 days. So I wonder if in 16 days, that'll be when this mode does go away for a little while. I hope it really doesn't. But the blueprint itself isn't anything special. I wouldn't expect anything crazy from a free blueprint in Onslaught considering it's PlayStation exclusive. Now, I also think what's crazy is that every other Black Ops Zombies iteration has usually had a season end with a total of 5 to 6 actual Zombies maps in that game, and all those maps would have Easter eggs or survival on them. We've seen that, right? Black Ops 1, a bit of an exception because we had the 4 World at War ports at the end, and then in Black Ops 3 we had Zombies Chronicles at the end, so they added, what, 8 maps to that. But typically, one Black Ops Zombies experience will have 5 to 6 maps in the game by the end of its DLC season. Black Ops Cold War is looking to match that by having, I would say, 3 more traditional Zombies maps added in Berlin, and then 2 more after that. So by Season 6, we should have 5 total Zombies maps in this game. And if you're like, wait a second, that's too few. I mean, that's not enough Zombies maps. I'm like, all right, I understand where you're coming from. Not only is the pandemic still going on, which has affected development, but this game still has so much more to offer than previous Black Ops games didn't. That's many zombies maps through Outbreak. I know they took the fire team maps, but it was confirmed that we're going to be getting non-fire team maps added to Outbreak 2, so I wonder what that could mean. Is that a hint towards a big green run Outbreak experience? We'll love that. That could be a good way to bring Tranzit back. You know, could it be maps we've never seen before? Sure. Could it be parts from campaign taken and put into Zombies Outbreak? Absolutely. But they did confirm that non-fire team maps are coming to Zombies Outbreak, so that's more content right there. On top of the fact there's multiple objectives you can do, side Easter eggs, and a main Easter egg coming to Outbreak with the next season. So that's a lot of content sitting right there already. Codename Pizza also confirmed all of this in an interview he did with Treyarch with the start of Season 2. And then we also have Onslaught, being able to play simple zombie survival on all of the multiplayer maps and even the gunfight maps now live in game. So when Xbox and PC get this mode, it'll be filled with content, filled with replayability. So if next year's Call of Duty sucks and you want to stick with Black Ops Cold War and you only play zombies, let's say, that's perfect for you on Xbox and PC because you'll have so much to test and so much to experiment with when Onslaught goes live on those platforms in just a couple of months from now. But last and definitely not least, when it comes to DLC 2 zombies, we don't know much about what DLC 2 is just yet, but if the map truly is going to launch at the start of Season 3, marketing should begin for that map as soon as this week or even next week. But again, I brought this up in my previous video. Codename Pizza in his recent live stream did say, and I'll play the clip for you guys if you don't believe me, that the next actual zombies map does release with the start of next season. So I'm like, wait a second, did he misinterpret something? Is he throwing this off on purpose? I made a video, I want to say a good 2 months ago, where I also brought up one of Pizza's streams where he himself claimed the next zombies map would drop with Season 2 Reloaded, and that didn't happen. So maybe he was referring to a zombie section being added to Outbreak. That's fair enough if that's what he meant, but maybe he misinterpreted something from the recent Q&A he did with Treyarch. Who actually knows what the deal is with that? But I also want to bring up this point. In Outbreak, we of course have the new Panzer, the Dark Aether Avogadro known as the Tempest. Are those bosses that will be featured in actual DLC Zombies maps, or are they truly exclusive to the Outbreak mode itself? I would have to guess that anything put in Outbreak is going to be taken from actual Zombies maps. Maybe we'll end up seeing this Tempest Avogadro or this Panzer in DLC 2 Berlin. I wanted to point that out real quickly since I was thinking about that just a couple of days ago. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave all your thoughts down below in the comments section. What are your thoughts on Zombies Onslaught? How it answers the community's feedback from many years ago? And what are your thoughts on the new Containment LTM over on the gunfight maps? I'm also curious what you're thinking about the future of zombies, right? Are you loving what Black Ops Cold War is offering? Are you being understanding of what circumstance Treyarch is under right now with developing this game? They're still working from home and still pumping out this output that I just never expected to see from a Treyarch game before. So I'm happy about that. You know, call me a sheep, call me a Treyarch fanatic, or, you know, a Treyarch simp. Say whatever you like, but I'm just appreciating what is being offered through one of the roughest years in game development history. But that is about it. Really hope you've enjoyed, and happy Easter.